Violence is escalating in the Middle East as Israeli troops launch wide-scale, deadly air attacks on the occupied West Bank.
Officials say Israel's military conducted drone strikes in Jenin this week, killing at least 8 Palestinians. The Israeli military says the operation focused on militant targets in the densely populated refugee camp. Hundreds of ground forces also moved into the area.
We are joined this morning by political science professor Navin Bapat of UNC Chapel Hill. Navin, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is the largest military action in the West Bank in 20 years. Why now? What has stirred this up over so long that it's making it happen right now?
So I think there are several causes. Some of this, I think the militant attitude towards the Palestinians really begins with the new government in Israel, with increased tolerance of the expansion of settlements. So that's part of it. But we're also seeing a growth of terrorist movements within these territories. Some of the old movements have sort of faded away and are not looked at as effective. So you're seeing some new ones emerge within the Palestinian territories. And I think there's been a spate of tit-for-tat attacks over the last few months. So I think in response to that, there's been a more hardline attitude in the Israeli government, which I think motivated the expansion of activities that we see now. And so it's obviously a complex issue. So you're seeing violence on behalf of the Palestinians against the Israelis, but you also see settler attacks, some from the Israeli against the Palestinians. And so really, I think this is an escalation and culmination over the last few months.
And you just mentioned those tit-for-tat exchanges. The violence is going both ways here.
Yes, right. And so that's an important thing to mention is it's not just randomized terrorist attacks coming from the Palestinians. The Palestinians are also faced with increased settler activity. And as I mentioned, the Israeli government has tried to make it easier for settlers to move into these areas and try to decrease some of the permitting that's necessary to do so. So that's been an ongoing activity that's happened. And so I think at this point, because of the increased ease of it, we're seeing more violence.
What is each side telling their own people? So what are the Palestinians telling their country? What are the Israelis telling their country about what's going on and who's winning and whose fault is it? I mean, I feel like this has just gone on for centuries.
It's gone on for decades for sure. And it has been, what you have seen is a disappointment at the end of the Oslo Accords, which seem to have basically ended in the 2000s. There have been some efforts to try to restart that. But the promise of that peace process really seems to have faded away. And I think from the Israeli perspective, again, it's a very hardline government in Tel Aviv at the moment. So some of this is popular with their followers, and certainly with those that comprise the government. Right. So there's been a sort of support of the settler movement. Again, as I mentioned, there's decreased red tape to try to engage in expansion of these activities. From the Palestinian side, actually, though, I think the government's or the Palestinian Authority statements, those are taken. But you have seen a general disenchantment with the Palestinian Authority. It's seen as corrupt. It's seen as not very effective. And so there are new groups that are emerging. Some of the groups that have been active this time are Hamas for sure. Islamic Jihad is another one. There's Al-Aqsa, and there's others that are new, that are operational now. So you're seeing new groups move. You're seeing the youth move towards some of those new groups away from Fatah and away from the Palestinian Authority. So I think that is a concern that there is a move more towards more militancy there.
Obviously, a fluid situation. Is there a foreseeable end to this conflict right here?
Well, short term, I think recent statements. So again, these are I'm not sure if we can verify that. Recent statements are that this should wrap up fairly soon from the Israelis' perspective. But I don't think that that's an end to the commitment to settlers, and I don't think that. And if there's no end to that commitment to settlers, and there's no sort of focus on a larger peace process, I don't think that ends the conflict. I think Israel right now is more focused on trying to make deals with its neighbors. And make deals with some of the Arab states versus with the Palestinians. And I think since that's where the focus is, I don't think there's necessarily a foreseeable end to the Palestinian conflict.
Well, hopefully this will wrap up sooner rather than later without more lives lost. Navin Bapat, thank you for your time, especially on this 4th of July holiday. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
It is 7:47 now.